You think intelligence protects you, but Machiavelli knew morality blinds men. While you play fair, predators rewrite rules and harvest your obedience without resistance. You were trained to believe the world rewards intelligence, honesty, and effort. That belief is the first trap. Fairness is not a law of reality. It is a story told to keep predictable men compliant. From childhood, you were conditioned to follow rules, wait your turn, trust systems, and expect reciprocity. But power does not operate on moral contracts. It operates on leverage, timing, and asymmetry. While you were learning how to be good, others were learning how to win. The world doesn't punish manipulation, it promotes it. It doesn't reward loyalty, it exploits it. The men who rise fastest are not the most virtuous, but the most adaptive. They understand that rules are enforced selectively, truth is optional, and morality is flexible depending on who holds authority. Fairness is the myth that keeps you exposed, transparent, and slow, while predators move without hesitation. Machiavelli saw this clearly. He understood that most men don't lose because they are stupid, but because they are obedient to illusions. They assume others play by the same rules they do. They expect gratitude for sacrifice, mercy for restraint, and justice for patience. This is how they get crushed. Power doesn't announce itself. It tests boundaries and exploits weakness. The moment you assume fairness exists, you surrender initiative. You wait, you explain, you justify. Meanwhile, someone else acts. They take credit, rewrite narratives, control perception, and move ahead while you're still deciding what's right. This chapter strips away that lie. It forces you to see reality as it is, a silent competition where outcomes matter more than intentions, and survival belongs to those who understand. The game is not fair, and never was. Power is not built on intelligence alone. It is built on understanding human weakness. Machiavelli's true insight was not politics. It was psychology. He saw that most men are ruled by emotion, ego, fear, and desire for validation. They believe they are rational, yet react instinctively when threatened, flattered, ignored, or tempted. This predictability is the pressure point. People reveal themselves constantly in how they overreact to disrespect, how they crave approval, how they fear exclusion, how they justify betrayal when it benefits them. The Machiavellian mind does not moralize this. It exploits it. It does not ask who is good, but who is controllable. Once you see humans as patterns instead of individuals, the game changes. You stop taking behavior personally. You start reading incentives, insecurities, and emotional triggers. Anger becomes data. Loyalty becomes conditional. Kindness becomes a currency to be spent strategically, not emotionally. Most men drown because they assume others are principled. The Machiavellian swims because he assumes they are self-interested and plans accordingly. This mindset is cold because it must be. Empathy clouds judgment. Transparency kills leverage. Emotional expression hands weapons to your enemies. Machiavelli understood that power belongs to the man who can observe without reacting, listen without revealing, and act without explaining. While others vent, he collects information. While others seek fairness, he engineers outcomes. The Machiavellian mind treats every interaction as a negotiation of power, spoken or unspoken. Who needs whom more? Who fears loss? Who overvalues approval? These questions decide dominance long before words do. This chapter reprograms you to stop engaging emotionally and start operating strategically. To see social life not as connection, but as positioning. Not as morality, but as movement. Once you adopt this lens, you become dangerous. Not because you are cruel, but because you are no longer blind. You stop being manipulated by appearances and start manipulating reality itself. There are two types of men in every hierarchy, the ones being used and the ones doing the using. The naive man doesn't see himself as weak. He sees himself as good. He is loyal without leverage, honest without protection, and predictable in his reactions. He believes consistency is character, transparency is virtue, and being liked is safety. This makes him useful and disposable. He over-explains, over-commits, and overexposes. When he's wronged, he seeks fairness instead of advantage. When he's overlooked, he works harder instead of repositioning. His identity is tied to how others perceive him, which makes him easy to steer. He is rewarded with responsibility, not power, with trust, not control, with praise, not protection. History is filled with these men, capable, intelligent, morally upright, and quietly erased once they outlived their usefulness. The strategist operates on a different frequency. He does not confuse virtue with vulnerability. He understands that roles are masks, not identities. He speaks less, watches more, and reveals only what advances his position. Where the naive man seeks approval, the strategist engineers dependence. Where the naive man reacts emotionally, the strategist delays and lets others expose themselves. He does not rush to be seen as good. He waits to be necessary. His loyalty is conditional. His silence is deliberate. His unpredictability keeps others cautious. This chapter forces a brutal self-audit. Which archetype have you been performing? Because this is not a personality difference. It's a survival divide. One man is consumed by the system, the other feeds on it. And the world does not warn you when it decides which one you are. Virtue without power is an invitation to be dominated. History does not celebrate the kind, it remembers the victorious. Every empire, institution, and hierarchy proves the same law. Those who cling to moral purity without leverage are removed by those willing to act without it. Mercy is only respected when it is optional. Honesty only works when deception fears exposure. The moment virtue becomes your identity, it becomes your cage. You hesitate when you should strike. You forgive when you should remember. You explain when you should act. This is how power consumes virtue, not through evil, but through efficiency. Those who rise understand that morality is a tool, not a religion. They apply it selectively, discard it strategically, and weaponize it when it benefits perception. Meanwhile, the virtuous man clings to consistency, unaware that consistency makes him predictable, and predictability makes him vulnerable. Machiavelli did not hate virtue. He understood its cost. He watched leaders fall not because they were cruel, but because they were merciful without teeth, because they trusted the untrustworthy, because they delayed decisive action in the name of fairness. Power punishes hesitation. Human nature exploits restraint. When you choose virtue over dominance, you are not choosing goodness, you are choosing exposure. This chapter strips away the fantasy that being morally superior protects you. It doesn't. It isolates you, slows you, and marks you as safe to exploit. Power respects strength first, virtue second, if at all. Until you accept this, you will keep losing battles you never saw coming. The world does not ask whether you were right. It asks whether you remained standing. Machiavelli's laws are not philosophy. They are instruments. They were never meant to make you wise or virtuous. They were designed to make you effective. Each law exists to solve a single problem: how to maintain advantage over other men in an environment defined by competition, scarcity, and deception. When you treat these laws as ideas, you debate them. When you treat them as weapons, you apply them. Weapons are not judged morally, they are judged by results. Silence is not politeness, it is concealment. Deception is not lying, it is misdirection. Fear is not cruelty, it is deterrence. Reputation is not ego, it is armor. This chapter reframes the 21 laws as a strategic toolkit. You stop asking whether a move is right and start asking whether it shifts power in your favor. That mental shift alone separates operators from observers. Most men fail because they cherry-pick these laws emotionally. They apply them only when comfortable, abandon them when guilt appears, and hesitate when resistance emerges. That inconsistency nullifies power. The strategist understands that timing, restraint, and calibration matter more than intention. You do not dominate constantly, you dominate precisely. Sometimes you withdraw to create scarcity. Sometimes you reward to create dependence. Sometimes you strike to set boundaries. These laws are situational, not sentimental. This chapter conditions you to think like a tactician, not a philosopher. To see every interaction as terrain, every relationship as leverage, every silence as pressure. Once internalized, the laws stop feeling dark and start feeling obvious. Because they do not change human nature, they simply stop you from being blind to it. Power cannot coexist with the identity you were trained to protect. The good man, the agreeable man, the emotionally open man, these identities are liabilities in competitive environments. They were designed for cooperation, not dominance. To rise, that identity must die. Not publicly, not dramatically, but internally, permanently. This chapter initiates that death. It forces separation between who you are and how you operate. You stop seeking validation, fairness, or emotional resolution. You stop explaining yourself to be understood. You stop reacting to be seen as reasonable. The old identity craves approval and safety. The new identity prioritizes position and control. This is not self-improvement, it is self-replacement. The moment you cling to being liked, you surrender leverage. The moment you detach from emotional exposure, you regain sovereignty. Identity death is violent because it feels like betrayal of values, of past sacrifices, of the image you believed made you respectable. But respect without power is cosmetic. Machiavelli understood that rulers are not destroyed by enemies. They are destroyed by the identities they refuse to abandon. This chapter conditions emotional detachment, selective empathy, and internal silence. You learn to feel without revealing, to care without committing, to move without announcing. When the old identity dies, something colder replaces it. Clarity. You no longer take offense. You take notes. You no longer seek closure. You create outcomes. This is the point of no return. Once crossed, you cannot unsee how often your former self was exploited. And you will never again allow morality to override strategy when survival or dominance is at stake. Once the old identity is dead, you are free to wear masks. Power requires performance. Transparency is a luxury for the weak. Ambiguity is shelter for the strong. This chapter installs the discipline of concealment. You learn to separate intention from appearance, thought from speech, emotion from expression. The mask is not deception for chaos. It is deception for control. You appear harmless when you are calculating. You appear agreeable when you are assessing. You appear predictable while adjusting angles in silence. Most men broadcast their inner state through tone, posture, reaction. That makes them readable and therefore manageable. The strategist denies access. He gives people a version of himself that keeps them comfortable, curious, or cautious, depending on what serves the moment. The mask protects your real position, while others expose theirs freely. Silence is the blade behind the mask. When you do not speak, others fill the vacuum, and in doing so, reveal fears, intentions, and weaknesses. Deception, used correctly, is not constant lying. It is selective misdirection. You let people believe what benefits you. You confirm their assumptions when they are wrong. You never rush to correct narratives that serve your advantage. This chapter conditions patience over impulse, stillness over reaction. You stop defending yourself because defense invites scrutiny. You stop oversharing because information is leverage. In a world where everyone is loud, emotional, and desperate to be seen, the man who moves quietly becomes untouchable. They cannot predict him. They cannot provoke him. They cannot position against him. Because they never see the real man. Only the mask he allows them to see. Control does not begin with force. It begins with perception. People decide how to treat you long before you act, based on what they believe you represent. This chapter installs a hard truth. Fear is a stabilizer, not a flaw. Respect without fear decays into familiarity, and familiarity breeds challenge. Machiavelli understood that being loved is unstable because love is conditional and emotional. Fear, when calibrated, is consistent. It creates hesitation. It introduces cost. Your reputation becomes the delivery system for that fear. A reputation for calm retaliation, for memory, for boundaries quietly enforced. You do not need to threaten. Your history does it for you. The man with a controlled reputation walks into rooms already advantaged. People choose words carefully around him. They hesitate before crossing him. That hesitation is power. This chapter conditions you to treat reputation as armor. You never engage in battles that make you look small. You never react publicly to disrespect. You resolve it privately or strategically. Wins are made visible. Struggles are hidden. You let stories circulate that frame you as competent, detached, and difficult to manipulate. Not cruel, precise. Fear does not mean chaos. It means predictability of consequence. When people know that overstepping costs them access, opportunity, or peace, control emerges naturally. You no longer need to dominate openly. Order forms around you. This is how rulers maintain stability without constant enforcement. This chapter completes the shift from internal discipline to external control. Once fear and reputation align, power sustains itself, even in your absence. Predictability is the weakness professionals wait for. The moment others can model your behavior, they can prepare against it. They know how you react to disrespect, how long you tolerate pressure, when you retreat, and when you explode. This chapter eliminates that vulnerability. Power thrives in uncertainty. When people cannot anticipate your moves, they hesitate, and hesitation creates openings. You disrupt patterns deliberately. You delay when expected to respond. You act suddenly where patience was assumed. You remove emotional tells. This unpredictability forces others into a defensive posture, wasting energy trying to read you while you move freely. They start reacting to possibilities instead of facts, which hands you psychological control without effort. Preemptive strikes are the physical expression of this principle. Machiavelli understood that threats do not announce themselves fully formed. They grow quietly. The strategist does not wait for proof or consensus. He acts while the threat is small, disorganized, and deniable. This does not mean reckless aggression. It means decisive intervention. Cutting access, repositioning allies, undermining influence, ending trajectories before they mature. Most men delay action out of fear of appearing unfair or overreactive. By the time they feel justified, it's too late. This chapter retrains your sense of timing. You stop asking for certainty and start acting on patterns. Power favors those who end problems early and quietly. Once mastered, unpredictability combined with preemption makes you structurally difficult to challenge, because by the time others realize you moved, the game is already over. At the highest level, power is no longer about winning individual encounters. It is about shaping the environment itself. This chapter completes the transformation from player to architect. When you control rules, you no longer need to fight constantly. Others self-regulate around you. They adapt their behavior to avoid conflict, loss, or exclusion. This is sovereignty. Machiavelli understood that true dominance is quiet and structural. You decide what is rewarded, what is punished, what is ignored. You are no longer reactive because the field already favors you. Your presence changes incentives. People compete for your approval, hesitate to oppose you, and model their actions around your standards. This is the end state of power. Not force, but gravity. The man who writes the rules is unreadable, patient, and detached from outcome obsession. He does not chase power because the system routes power to him automatically. He invests in long-term positioning, reputation, and legacy rather than short-term validation. Noise does not concern him. Approval does not seduce him. He moves with the certainty of someone who understands human nature and has already accounted for it. This chapter seals the psychological shift. You stop seeing yourself as subject to the world and start seeing the world as something malleable, something to be shaped. Once here, you cannot return to naivety. You see patterns, incentives, and leverage everywhere. And you understand the final truth Machiavelli left behind. The most dangerous man is not the loud tyrant, but the quiet strategist who makes resistance irrational.